Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. For my fellow Canadians who are choosing to celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. To all of the lovely Thanksgiving wishes that have been received by my family, and I thank you very much for that. Alrighty, I want to take a look at Lindsay Halligan and Pam Bondi. Okay, so Lindsay Halligan is 36 years old. She's gorgeous and she's stunning. And not surprising, of course, that 45 would want her representing him. She's the interim United States Attorney for the Eastern DC. Okay, has been since September, like a couple weeks ago. She has managed to secure indictments against Letitia James, and James Comey. Now, people with way more experience and knowledge than her in both cases have said, you don't have a case here. Like, you do not have a case. There is nothing that you're going to win because the charges there's no evidence to back them up. But 45 wants to go after his political enemies, and these are two people that he really, really does consider his enemies. I don't even know if it goes as far as political. I think for him it's just all personal now. So I want to take a look because she's just being an embarrassment. She's like does things like there's typos on the indictments that she's handing into the court. She doesn't seem to know what's going on. She had to get two lawyers from North Carolina, maybe, to come work with her because nobody in her branch wants to touch this, either of them with like a 10-foot pole. I think the thing that I personally find most entertaining in this is the fact that, I mean, she is a novice. The heck did she do before this? But it was like really, um, I can't remember, but it was like some really simplistic kind of lawyering, if you will. No offense to lawyers out there. But she's going against two heavy hitters. She's going against people who are respected, who have years of experience, who know their way in and out of the law and courtrooms and indictments and prosecutions. And she's like got nothing. Like truly, she got nothing. I want to see how this is going to go now. Just before the weekend, Pam Bondi, who is like her boss, who we all know is the USAG, um, was caught blindsided when the Letitia James indictment came out because Bondi didn't know about it, which means that Lindsay didn't tell her boss that this is what was going on. I guess she was just following um, the dictates of her esteemed leader. Let's take a look at her and see what's going on with her and how she honestly, like, is she going to survive this really? And I'm going to be looking at Lindsay Halligan because I think that these are sort of two ladies of the law who are garnering a lot of attention and a lot of focus, and none of it is good, none of it is impressive, and none of it puts them in a good light. So let's start with Lindsay and see what we can find out. Here we go. Lindsay Halligan trajectory, Lindsay Halligan trajectory, Lindsay Halligan trajectory. Sorry, it was making me crazy. I needed to find out what she did before. Here we go. This is according to Wikipedia. She began her career as an insurance lawyer, became a partner at Cole, Scott, and Kissane, in 2018. He was named to his legal team, and she was involved in the litigation um, involving the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago. He advocated for action against exhibits at Smithsonian, um, which she saw as disparaging the United States. And she currently is the interim U.S. attorney, and is being nominated for her position of the a U.S. attorney for the District of Eastern D.C. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. You can see where that completely qualifies her. Good God. She must be one of those the very best people. I don't really have an explanation beyond that. I look at that, I just messed up my cards. Let's try again here. Try that again. Sorry, here we go. Ah, Lindsay Halligan trajectory, Lindsay Halligan trajectory, Lindsay Halligan trajectory. Kind of about what you'd expect. All right. She is starting off and being represented by the Knight of Swords. All right. So she's that energy, right? She is charging ahead. She is getting done what she's been told to get done. She doesn't have a firm grasp on what she's doing, but that doesn't seem to be slowing her down or preventing her from marching forward. All right. She considers this situation she's in as the most brilliant good luck of her career. She sees this as truly an opportunity to present herself as something more than somebody who is pretending to be a lawyer. I was trying to come up with something nice. Followed by the lovers. Okay, so she literally, whatever he wants, she will do. And it doesn't matter to her whether what she's doing makes sense, if it's impressive, if it's legal. She's just doing what he says because she sees him as her ticket to I don't know, eternal fame and acceptance. I don't know. King of Wands. All right. So she doesn't have the eloquence and the um a way of speaking that gives her any degree, I've not heard her at all, but according to this, that doesn't give her any sort of degree of authority. There are people when they speak, like Letitia James, you listen because you understand that she's got it all together and she is in control. Lindsay's not so much. Um, at one of the recent court um scenarios, apparently she didn't say anything and she just kind of rocked back and forth in her chair. So, but be that as it may, again, she believes, and this is the thing about her, is if 45 wants her to believe that he has somehow been done wrong, she will simply absorb it, completely believe it, almost to the point where she disregards sort of logic or facts or maybe the law. Like literally, if he said, Lindsay, the sky is purple, make it purple, she would do everything she could to figure out how to make that sky purple. Like it's like a blind loyalty. Um, and like so literally, like I mean it, she has blinders on and she doesn't it's like she doesn't absorb any outside information that doesn't conform to her agenda. And Queen of Pentacles, she absolutely believes that this is her ticket to fame. Um, there is some talk about the fact that her position is not sort of even she's not sitting in that seat legally because there's something with the way she was put into that seat. I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but in any case, she sees it as her gold star. She sees it as her ticket to fame. She sees amazing things coming from this. You know, you should perhaps have a conversation with who was that assistant to Trump in the first administration? She's gorgeous. She was like an ex-model. Um, I can't remember her name, but you all know who I'm talking about. You should maybe have a conversation with her because boy, oh boy, she has vanished, right? She has gone absolutely quiet, and she's not connected at all to this administration. Um, so maybe it would be helpful if Lindsay took a look and actually saw um, the ruin. Okay, Five of Cups. She is going to be disappointed. There is humiliation coming for her. There is disregard coming for her. I would not be even a little bit surprised if she lost her law license over this. I think that both Comey and James are likely to um, sue her, by extension, the government, for sort of. There's a fancy name for it, but prosecuting somebody as an act of vengeance. Um, because if you don't have a case, but you persist in this, then your motive has to be questioned. And in this case, it's not a secret that 45 wants those people gone after and hard. And so she's, she's risking a lot. And ultimately, you're going to see her have to go away. Um, she will not, it should, or when 45 leaves office, if Vance steps up, she will not retain that position for a significant period of time. Okay. But I'm not even sure if she's going to make it that long. But there is definitely the feeling that after this humiliation and this disappointment and this, how did I go so wrong? That she will be vanishing into obscurity where she is going to have a significant drain of her resources. She's going to actually almost be looking for support and favors from other people in her professional industry because there are going to be people who are going after her because of some of these ridiculous, frivolous lawsuits that she's bringing. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if not only was there sort of um, a lawsuit um, proving her behavior, but also that civil component, like a civil lawsuit where she's actually gone after for damages. Ultimately, this woman carries a great deal of stress and anxiety as she moves forward. She is going to try to hang on to this shine as long as she can. She loves the attention. And ultimately, she's building a prison for herself. Um, so that's where she's going. It doesn't look good for her. Um, And this is the thing. I mean, insurance lawyers, um, good ones, are really, really gifted at what they do. They have, or certainly in my experience, they have a skill set. A lot of it really, really boils down to the ability to negotiate and stand firm. But I can't understand how that then makes, I'm assuming that she was good at it, that makes her then the perfect choice for the attorney for the Eastern District of DC. Like I can't find the correlation there. Now let's move on to Pam Bondi, who is her boss. Now, good old Pam is 59 years old. In all fairness, I have to say she's looking pretty good. Um, She is the United States Attorney General. Prior to that, she was the Attorney General of Florida, so she would have worked under DeSantis. So again, I think that she probably had her fingers in some of the things that went on in Florida that um, that DeSantis wanted, and she made happen. I'll say it that way. Um, Listen, I don't know if she was the one who came up with the brilliant idea of going after Disney, et cetera, but I don't think that that worked out actually to her advantage. She also was part of the council for 45's first impeachment. So she's now sitting in a position of the ultimate, she is the United States lawyer. All right. Now, her interpretation of that is that she is 45's personal lawyer, okay, which is not what that position is supposed to be about, but there you have it, right? Again, what he wants, she will go out of her way to facilitate and accommodate. Um, she this is the thing, they're not doing well in court. They keep going to court and they're not doing well. All right, I mean, she's getting um judgments that are not in her favor. The courts are basically saying things to her like, this isn't valid, this is against the law, um this doesn't comport with like legal anything. um but again, um he is in a position. I don't know if she is the first female USAG or not, but if she isn't the first, she certainly is in a rarefied group. Okay. Let's see. Pam Bondi. As of right now, it feels sort of like her position is secure. But we'll see what the cards have to say. All right, so Pam Bondi trajectory, Pam Bondi trajectory, Pam Bondi trajectory. Hey, oh, what a surprise. She's also starting out. Well, she's starting off with the Six of Swords, which was um a card that was in Lindsay's reading. Now, Lindsay's came sort of towards the end. This is her first card out. So it's interesting because I don't get the feeling that she's necessarily trying to leave troubled waters, although honestly, it would probably serve her well, as much as she is trying to give the impression or the illusion that things are calm, they are steady. Any turbulence that has gone on, well, we were just sort of settling in, but everything now is just ticking along like clockwork, exactly the way I want it to. I mean, I don't know if she's telling the world that story or just herself, but in any case, she she sort of perceives, I guess, that things are getting better. I'm not quite sure what facts that she's putting together to create that scenario in her head, but boy, that's what's going on there. She's another one, Page of Pentacles, right? She is another one who really does see this as her golden opportunity. She's going down in the history books, right? I mean, her name is going to live on in infamy. All right. So again, these people are so wrapped up in their own sense of importance, their own ego, their own specialness, that they don't tend to see beyond that. Four of Cups. She's not happy. I'll give it that. She's not really happy. She doesn't like all of the pressure. She loves the attention, but she doesn't like the pressure, and she doesn't like when she is sort of made to look foolish, and that honestly doesn't seem to be that hard to do. Um, as of right now, her position is secure. In part because she presents the right image, right? I mean, look at the people that Trump has around him, right? Um, he gravitates to very attractive women, invariably with long hair, um, prefers blondes, and he gets dazzled by their looks, or perhaps by their subservience, or perhaps by their idol worship, and he doesn't really think about whether they're actually well suited, whether they can actually get the job done. um, because we know with 45 it's all about the image, right? It's all about what you present. I think I heard that he's looking to go after John Bolton. If he hasn't already, I think that that's in the works somewhere. Because again, anybody who has, insulted him or degraded him, or just suggested maybe that he's not doing a great job, they literally become a target. All right, she's got the moon sitting here. Um, There's a lot going on behind the scenes and under the scenes, if you will, that we do not know about. Um, and it's ultimately going to, much like Lindsay, it's ultimately going to bring her um, down. Okay. That moon is followed by the Seven of Swords, all right? She's another one, right? Um, Followed by the Queen of Swords. So what those groupings of cards, what they're talking about is the fact that she will circumvent, twist, alter any law, any precedent, any normalcy in order to accomplish what she wants, in order to accomplish her agenda. And her agenda is whatever 45 says it is. Um, ultimately, she's going to find herself in a position where she, interestingly enough, it's exactly the same card that Lindsay got, finds herself in a position where she's going to be using resources to defend herself, to protect herself, and may very well be needing the support of other people in her profession. So again, she's another one who, as things unfold, this is going to come back and slap her in the ass. But for right now, she doesn't care because she's all about, the glory. But this is not I'd be like a good look, okay? And I don't see good things coming from this going forward. Um Six of Cups. So this is interesting, right? I think that at some point she's going to get to this sort of place where she reflects. And as she's reflecting, I think that um, she may realize that there are some lines that she really shouldn't have crossed, some boundaries that she blew right past. Followed by the Hermit, followed by the Chariot. Okay, so it looks like she's going to end up sort of going into a quiet, reflective period, that kind of thing. Um, and the Chariot is interesting because it feels like for a while, whether this is under her current uh, position or going forward, it feels like things around her are chaotic. They are um, unhinged. Um, they, like her boss, there is this attitude of there's no one above me. Hey, I'm the top attorney in the United States. Who's going to come after me? Well, she's going to be really surprised to see who comes after her. Um, there's that sort of that ego and that arrogance. And while it may play very, very well to her audience of one, ultimately, I don't see it serving her particularly well. So I think for both of these ladies of the law, they would have been far better off had they actually practiced law in a way that was not quite so twisted. Okay. Um, they are twisting and manipulating things to a point where it's not going to be a great thing for them as they go forward. All right. Here we go. Thank you. Don't forget to put your questions in the comment section below. I thank you for hanging in there till the end of this video if you have. Um, and always know that I really do appreciate the fact that you choose to spend some of your time with me. It means a very, very great deal. Until next time, take care and be well. Bye for now.